The original or the OEM products that you get out there, or some of the competitor products, aren't modular. They're one-piece unit, or they're milled out of a piece of plastic, or they're glued together. So once it's broken, and they're considered consumable, disposable. We decided that that wasn't an option. People spend a lot of money on these things, a lot of money on the device, a lot of money on the kit that goes with it. So by virtue of that, we wanted something that was fixable and modular, so everything had to be. So these things are bolted together as opposed to glued. Everything's designed to be, as I said, modular. You can take the pieces apart and put a new PCB in there should the pins actually fail, which is about 1% failure if that. And even down to the SIG plugs that charge them. They're plug in at the back on a connector, and the SIG plug itself is interchangeable. The idea is to keep every single aspect within its individual component parts, so you can build whatever it is you want it to be and reuse parts. So you can reuse the mounting, you can reuse the SIG plug, you can reuse if you have a hardwired solution plugged in. They originally started off as a vehicle cradle, so it's sit on the dashboard, you put your device in it, plug it into your SIG plug, and away you go. But when you get back to your depot of an evening, the device still needs charging, because these are trickle chargers from a vehicle, not enough to run a device. So we started to put these in banks of 4, because 4 bay was the norm. Actually, it turned out we did 5 bays and 6 bays as well now, but nonetheless, we put them in a bank of 4 and you'd have them in a line. The benefit to that would be you could also have a mixed estate or mixed brand. So you could have brand A, brand B, brand C, and have different chargers for different devices, but all on the same sort of backplane, on the same holder, if you will. And then we took that further and put them into, from being on a 4 bay to being 3 4 bays in a drawer, and then 4 4 bays in a drawer, and then 4 5 bays in a drawer, and so on within the cabinets. And the idea there is that you can have a cabinet where it charges multiple devices. We can do about 120 is the most we've done so far, although with the phones on the newer things we're looking to get to about 150 180 in a cabinet, whereas the competition can do 36 46. So it's always constantly about what can we do better, what can we do more of, what can we expand into, and how can we get more out of what we've already got. So some of our clients are now looking to change their devices, but they don't have to change the cabinets, they don't have to change the charge rails. All they have to do is change the cradle on the front. In some respects that's great, in others it means that they can change the device and they can change the way that they manage the device as well. So yeah, it's gone for a long way from being a cradle in a vehicle, that's for sure. We get things sent back every day. We have a production facility and we also have a repair facility. Kit comes in. When it comes in, we have a turnaround time of about 5 days. But the point is we report back to every customer what we've done. So we don't just say, oh, we fixed this or we fixed that. We give them a list. If we know who they are, we don't always know who the end user is, might be through a reseller. But if we're told it's for everything's for a certain account, we can say, this, your estate looks like, on the basis of what's happened. So if we notice that there's a high failure rate on the cheeks, then we can do something about that. If we notice the PCB, we can do something about that. We can always do something about where something is failing. And it sounds bad to be promoting the fact that we can repair something and it's failing, but by the very nature of the industry we operate in, post, parcel and transport and logistics, these guys, the guys that are delivering parcels, are heavy-handed. They're in and out of the vehicle sometimes 120 times a day. The very nature of that, I mean, these pins alone, we use an American brand that are tested for about 1 million insertions, whereas some of the OEMs certainly don't do that.